Who's really in charge? Who's really holding the cards? The buyer's market breakdown, guys. This is the St. George Real Estate Morning Drive.
And I mean, like,
I reached over and had to stop Jesse from voice.
I was voice texting, not realizing what time it was.
Yeah. Hey.
That was great.
That's why you're the Ed McMahon. I'm the Johnny Carson.
That's right. That's right.
Let's be real about this for a minute. And by the way, here's the best part: Johnny Carson wasn't Johnny Carson without Ed McMahon. So
that's right.
Yeah, we need them both, guys. Jeremy Larkin here, host of the St. George Real Estate Morning Drive. I've got my business partner, right-hand man, colleague, good friend, dear brother. Who are you?
Jesse Paul.
We literally wore matching outfits today, linen-looking gray suits. And what I love is the shoes he wore. Listen, I came in and I said, Jesse, choose this outfit.
Way more often.
Choose this outfit. It's a great outfit.
Well, and what I need to do is get more like this.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
Because I have quite a few suits, but they're, what would you call them? Old style?
They're a little too big.
Yeah. So they're just the old style that it's not really in anymore.
Well, I'm going to tell you what to do. I want you to go see my friend, Dave at Adrian's. When we say go see your friend Dave, it's a little bit like going to see Jeremy Larkin at Larkin Group. You're going to say hello to Dave.
Right.
You're probably going to work with like my favorite clothier, my favorite suit guy, Paul.
Okay.
Paul, who works over there, he's a fantastic young guy.
I'll go check it out.
Paul set up myself, Eli with wedding suits, and he also set up Matt with all of his mission attire. Adrian's, guys, here's the best part. I was going to Adrian's 30 years ago, and they're better than ever. And you go in there and get like the pricing is outrageous. It is guys, it is hands-on. They're fitting you and they're tailoring the suit as part of the cost.
Nice.
And these things are like, I'm talking about stretch, 4-way stretch. Oh, you want to go to Adrian's.
That's what I need. But ironically, this is actually a new suit that I bought to go to your wedding.
Yeah. I thought it might be.
Speaking of weddings.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get married every 6 months. So he'll purchase a new suit.
There you go. Like just renew your vows every 6 months.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Guys, we're talking about today, who's really holding the cards? You know, the real estate market has shifted dramatically. Also, I'm going to reference a couple of fun events that are going on tonight and this weekend in St. George, Utah, because it's part of Dixie Days. But we're going to foreshadow a little bit the show. We're going to talk about whether this is a buyer's market, a seller's market, and who's holding the cards, who's actually buying and selling. Like, guys, actual scenarios that we deal with every day. Yesterday, I saw Jesse meeting with a client, and I was meeting with a client, and Jessica was on the phone with clients, and Melissa was on the phone with clients, and the list goes on and on. We're talking about people who are buying, selling, transacting right now in this market, because what happens, Jesse, people hear the term buyer's market, and then we're going to talk about Dixie Days. Okay. They hear buyer's market, and what does their brain automatically decide?
Oh, the market's going down.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad.
Dude,
it's bad.
This guy took the bait perfectly. There's a term, Malcolm Gladwell, who wrote the book Outliers. He talks about, there's a term called thin slicing.
Okay.
Thin slicing is a thing that actually human beings do quite accurately. Thin slicing is like you walk into a restaurant, you walk into a scenario and like say some people are arguing. The human brain is very good at assessing what the heck is going on in about 2 seconds. Maybe five.
That's so true.
Pretty good. Like, by the way, with resounding accuracy.
Yeah.
But one thing we also don't get it right sometimes. And so we hear a headline and then we thin slice and we make an assumption that is not accurate. And we're going to talk about, guys, how many people are actually buying and selling. But before we do, I'm going to be tonight, not in this suit. I've got the best Western shirt you've maybe ever seen. I'm going to be at the St. George, the Dixie Lions Roundup Rodeo tonight. I've been going to the Dixie Lions Roundup since I was like, well, certainly as long as I can remember. Have you been to the rodeo, Jesse? I don't think you have.
No, yeah, actually I have. It's been a while. It's been a while, yeah.
I should have told you to get the grandkids from Cedar and bring them down. I'll be sitting there. Jen and I will be there tonight. I think it starts at 7:30. The grand entry is the absolute best. And the grand entry is like they bring in all the cowboys on the horses, and they bring in the military, and they bring in the police, and they bring in the fire department. They typically drive in on a tank, and something cool happens. I feel like the rodeo, because I went to the Enterprise Rodeo where my mother, rest her soul, right? We laid her to rest 3 weeks ago across the street. I went to the Enterprise Rodeo where she grew up in July. Same thing. It's like the last hyper patriotic experience in America is the grand entry of a rodeo. The flags come up.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then they do the Cowboys prayer.
Yep.
You know, it's like, oh, dear Lord, you know, they do the Cowboys. It's just like the last gasp stand of Americana.
When you talk about that, it makes me think of Joe Bocut.
Yeah. Well, Joey was involved.
Big time in that.
Yeah. So guys, we love Joe. Dixie Days Festival is going on this whole week. And one thing that's going on tonight is the dinner on Main. It is not cheap, by the way. Dinner on Main, they block off Main Street, on Main Street, they block off Boulevard to Tabernacle Street. 4 different restaurants serve a 4 to 5 course meal. I went and saw Wildwood. It's a band on Monday night and saw the drone show after. And then you have the Dixie Days Carnival. Let's see. We have the Lions Roundup Rodeo going up to tonight. Tomorrow, Friday, we have the St. George Lions Dixie. Okay, where's the parade? Hang on. I want the parade. The rodeo parade is Saturday at 9 a.m. And then, guys, you've got stuff going on at all-day free admission on Saturday, guys. Sand Hollow Aquatic Center, Thunder Junction All Abilities Park train ride, St. George Carousel, Suntran bus service, the Rec Center, the St. George Museum of Art. How cool is that? There's a 2K and a 4. 2Ks for guys like you and I, Jesse, that don't want to run. 2K and 4K Saturday morning, the Roundup Rodeo Parade at 9 a.m., the Dixie Days Festival all day long at Vernon Worthen Parkwell, 9 to 2. The carnival starts at 2 p.m. and it runs until 11 p.m. And it's going to be wicked. So I want you guys to check that out. That is Dixie Days, and all you need to do is let your fingers do the walking. This is how they used to advertise the Yellow Pages. All I want you to do is just pull open your phone and just say, hey, Siri, tell me about Dixie Days in St. George, or like find me Dixie Days, or hey, Google, or whatever the heck you say to your phone, or just hop on Google and search Dixie Days and you're going to find it. All right. Jesse, you have a client. Okay. You've heard that a lot of people have heard it's a buyer's market. Yeah. And to be fair, we're going to punchline this thing. It really, by most standards, it favors buyers.
Yeah, in most cases, it definitely does.
Yeah.
Now there are a couple of exceptions. Like if you go under, let's say 500,000, it's pretty competitive.
Yeah.
But still, even in that market where there's not much inventory, sellers are still paying buyers' closing costs quite a bit.
Yeah.
So it definitely looks like and feels like a buyer's market. But this last week, and actually this has happened to 4 times now over the last 6 months.
Yeah, let's talk about this poor guy.
And he's in a price range where there's a lot of inventory. So it's not what you would expect.
What's his price range?
Like 1.2, 1.1, 1.2 million.
I want to qualify what that means. 1.2 to 1.1. That's a weird range. How about 1.1 to 1.2? So that was weird the way we said it.
Yeah, I said it backwards.
I said it
right
backwards.
around 1.2 is what is, but
yeah,
so
when we say a lot of inventory, but hang on a second.
Okay, go ahead.
You're getting ahead of yourself. See, sometimes we speak to people like they actually transact real estate all day long.
Like they know what to talk about?
A lot of inventory.
So there's a lot of homes on the market.
Yeah, lots of choices for buyers.
Price range.
And when there are lots of choices for buyers, there will be downward pressure on prices. Even if prices aren't falling per se, downward pressure on prices, buyers will become picky. Buyers will start saying things like, yeah, I'm willing to buy your house for $15,000 below ask, and I want a $15,000 closing cost.
Let me put that into perspective. Just between 900,000 and 1.3 million in Greater St. George and Hurricane is 185 homes.
Yeah. So buyers have some choices. And so you'd think this guy could get a screaming deal. What's happened to our guy?
So the first one
he's such a good dude.
Was back in April, right? We showed him the house. And before we could actually call to say, hey, we're going to put in an offer, they already had 2 were under contract.
$1.1 million price range.
Okay. The next one, same thing.
Yep.
Actually, the next one, we just couldn't get the seller to negotiate at all.
Yes.
They stuck to their price. The third one, multiple offers. First 2 days on the market. So they ended up with 4 offers. We went in with a pretty dang strong offer, like over asking.
This is good.
Offering to give the seller as long as they needed to get out. And we lost out to a cash buyer that went well over.
Yeah.
Well over. And then, so he said, okay, well, let me change my direction. What if we look at lots? Let's go look at this lot down here by the river and see what we can do about that. It's been on the market for a while. I reach out about that. Oh man, hey, I think I think that's going to be under contract by the end of the day. We're already down the road with this. And he's like, Jesse, it sure is not feeling like a buyer's market to me.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
And I said, I can understand, and what we need to consider is what you're looking for. Home with a view, a pool, and a shop.
Pretty coveted product.
What is everybody with some money that has a lot of toys looking for?
Something like that.
Something like that. So to be fair, it's what's causing the problem is his criteria, not the market.
Yeah.
He's looking for a home that everybody else wants. So we have to be fast.
I'm going to tell you something I've learned. If you're listening to our show today, this is the St. George Real Estate Morning Drive. Jesse, Paul, Jeremy, Larkin here, the Larkin Group, Keller Williams Realty, our legal disclaimer. We're at Larkin Group headquarters. It's the building on the corner of Tabernacle and University with the big, beautiful mural on the side. Getting kind of choked up about it. I've learned a couple of things in 20 years of doing this. We've assisted over 2,000 clients, families, investors, builders, humans in the purchase or sale of real estate. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you start to think about the fact that the average person moves every 7 to 10 years, the average person, a lot of our oldest segment of society move they'll stay in the same home for 30 or 50 years.
Yeah.
Because I know this because a lot of the people that I know that were dear, old time St. George, they literally stayed in the home for 40 years.
Yeah.
But let's say every 10 years, the average person moves. And so if you realize that you're going to transact once every 10 years, we've done 2,000 of these. We study homes and prices every day. But there's a setup for our listeners. I'm also a buyer. I'm an investor. I'm a buyer. I'm a consumer. I'm actively looking at real estate in several places in northern Utah. And here's what I've learned in all of this, in this big kind of setup.
Okay.
The best homes priced correctly will always sell immediately. There will always be competition. And I have enough of a keen eye now from looking at, if we've helped 2,000 clients as a team, I mean, guys, you have to realize that we've probably, Jesse and I alone have looked at 30,000 properties online.
Yeah.
I say online because we didn't go in all these homes.
Right.
I can instantly see a home that's priced well, that's not sold, and go, there's a problem with this property. And here's my point. It actually wasn't priced well. It appeared to be. This is a great example. You're like, oh my gosh, $789 for 4,200 square feet. I actually saw one in Linden. $789 for 4,200 square feet. The home's beautiful. The neighborhood's nice. I call the listing agent, Heather, who refers us business from Utah County.
Yeah.
I call Heather. What's the deal with your listing? She said, Jeremy, the driveway's so steep you almost can't even get up in the winter.
That's a problem.
So what I'm trying to get at is if you're a seller, this is for sellers and buyers. If you're a seller, if you price, every seller, 9 out of 10 sellers is like, we got the best home ever, right? Yeah. If your home is truly priced well for what it is, it will actually be sold in 2 to 21 days. Okay, meaning like instantly or in 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. If it is not, there is no way around this. I'm not going to give you a pretty analogy. I'm not going to give you data. I'm going to tell you it is the market saying, based on what you're offering, we're choosing something else. If you're a buyer and you think, oh, I can just offer anything I want on any property, the best home at the best price is going to sell. And if you think it's not, and so now I've got this, I'll text Jen, my wife. Did you see this house over in wherever? It's going to sell instantly. And I'd look back 3 days later, under contract.
And let's just take the one that we just lost out on this last weekend. As soon as I seen it, I knew.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man. And I was out of town and I said, hey, we may not have the weekend to deal with this. So I called the listing agent. I'm scheduling an appointment. I mean, I got off the airplane and went directly there to do the showing.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I said, hey, this isn't going to last.
Yeah. And so let me talk about, guys, buyer's market simply means that the tide is, and the cards are held by the buyers. The tide is more favoring buyers. The reality is home values are so high. If you're a seller and you've owned your home at least 5 years, you have so much equity. So even if it's a buyer's market, you're actually still coming out really good in the wash. Let's talk about people. These are the people who are moving. I've got a divorce situation. They are selling a home for $725,000. And it's not fun when you deal with a divorce situation.
No, it's not.
One of the parties is always taking it much harder than the other. Mm-hmm. We have this. We're trying to communicate around it. They've put a lot of trust in our team. We've shown the home, I think, 7 times in the last 2 weeks. And the market is dictating that the price is probably a little bit high. I've got an investor who moved out of her primary residence. She moved to Atlanta, Georgia. She moved there. She put tenants in the home. She's dealing with a property management company who will go unnamed on this show. But can I tell you, they have a 2.9 star Google rating. Ouch. How do you even get a rating that low? Anyway, we won't go there. She said, question. I need to sell the home to deal with a legal, like I need to pay off, like there's a legal thing and we have to settle. So she decides that she's going to sell her former home, which is now a rental home. She's living in Atlanta area. And we go out there and we find out that, things are not in the condition that she was told.
She left him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I said, this is a problem. Carpet's gone, there are no carpets. Flooring's hammered. Every single paint surface is dirty and needs to be repainted. Countertops are hammered. It's in rough shape. But look, these are real people. I had a wonderful client yesterday who we don't use names here, or we use fake names. She's moving out of the Legacy to move near her, to move in with her kids in northern Utah. Wonderful woman, sharp woman. We specialize in and work with a lot of downsizers. She came in. We're going to be selling her place in the Legacy and helping her make this wonderful move. It's an exciting move. And we're helping her navigate, should we paint the living room and into the dining room because they're a little bit dark? We've got some weird shadows in there. What's the best way to make this home show? And here's the best part. You got a woman who's very elderly, comes in. Often we feel like the older generation don't know about kind of the modern market. She said, I've been listening to your show and I've been paying attention and talking to my daughter. I think we need to be priced competitively. I found that we need to be priced at or even a little bit below market value to sell the home. I've said, you're hired. I want you to share a couple. Yeah, those are just 3 or 4 of the real world. One last one. We've got a client that I'm not actually working with. She's a licensed agent. She'll represent herself, but she called me. They live in Seattle. They have 2 kids. They said, we can't do Seattle anymore. This is just no longer the place for us for a million reasons. Do we even need to talk about that? And I've been giving them some guidance on 2 kids are 10 and 16, which neighborhoods to be in. These are the real world scenarios. What about you? Who are some of the real people that are moving in your world?
So we've got a family up actually in Cedar City moving. They've owned the home a couple years and beautiful home, about 3,000 square feet, a little over an acre, animal rights. But they're looking for more land, so they're going to be moving and more south. They're wanting to go towards maybe Canaryville. We've got another one in Cedar City coming up that is a probate situation. They're actually in New York. Dad was living here, passed away. So we've been helping them figure out the probate, figure out getting the house emptied out, get it cleaned out. That'll be going on the market so that they don't have to come and deal with it.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something about that, Jesse. That reminds me, I have a probate situation. Because again, guys, we specialize and work with downsizers, empty nesters, probate situations. Probate being mom and dad passed away, mom or dad. Someone passed away.
They didn't have a trust
the state has been left behind. We're working with of course, adult children, but in many times very adult. I'm dealing with one in Green Springs, 5 kids. Nobody can agree on anything. pretty sticky situation. But I got another one. Our client Scott out of Vegas, he's a pilot, and called us and said, we're going to be moving, Mom. I understand that this is what you guys do. As a matter of fact, Primrose Assisted Living referred them to us. Primrose said, these are the guys that do this. And we talked to them, and they moved parents into Primrose. He's got dementia. She's not far behind. We've been working with Scott. We put the home on the market at $579. Showed the home about 10 times.
Yeah, it showed a lot.
And every single showing said, why is there no tub of any sort in the master bedroom? What is now called the primary bathroom. And it's a challenge. And guys, we figure it's about a $20,000 problem.
Yeah.
There's it's tiled, an empty slot where there should be a bathtub. And the problem with the slot is it makes no sense. Unless you're going to put like 20 plants right there.
Right.
Okay, so we reduced the price to $565 from $579. We show it another half dozen times and we get an offer. So we're listed at $565 and they offer at $550. Well, Scott and I hammered it out last night. They only want 9 days to do a home inspection, 14 or 15 days to get their financing. They want to close this in 21 days. Well, guess what? He looked at this thing and he said, it's going to cost me $20,000 based on our research to fix the tub. We're $15,000 below the asking price. And in 21 days, we could never have to think about this ever again. And here's the problem. Mom and Dad don't have enough money to pay for the assisted living facility beyond October.
So they have to get this sold.
So, so here's a scenario when sellers go, I want my price and I want, they're actually getting everything they do want. And so we did talk to Mom at the last minute. He said, I think he's got power of attorney. But he called me last night and said, I did talk to Mom, and you know what she said? Please do it. I tell this story to say these are the real...
Yeah, well, that tub was going to keep causing issues.
Yeah.
It definitely was.
So every situation's different, Jesse. Every situation's different. People are moving all over the place. It is interestingly actually a pretty strong market. Strong meaning there's a lot of activity.
There is a lot of activity. And when it comes down to it, when a home gets to the right price, they're selling for pretty good money, like 98% of asking price from where they're at when they finally get to the price that causes an offer.
Yeah.
So that's a good market.
And guys, if you want to get the best price possible, this is so counterintuitive. We're going to leave you with this thought and then tell you how you can contact us. You price the home lower. I know that is scary. I know you wonder if you're leaving money on the table. It is the best it is the best strategy to create a competing offer or similar situation. And what I call it, Jesse, is I gotta have it. You want the buyer to say, I gotta have it. Guys, if you want to reach out to us and just have a conversation about your real estate situation, it's gostgeorge.com, GOSTGeorge.com, or Google the Larkin Group. We can give you, we'd love to give you a copy of our signature system, our downsizing guide, the Legacy Living Blueprint. If you're downsizing, empty nesting, any phase of the downsizing, whether you're, kids just moved out or you're like need to go to assisted living. Mm-hmm. And also our ultimate home selling guide, which is every single thing I've learned in 20 years. No chat GPT, wrote it word for word myself. So Google the Larkin Group or visit gostgeorge.com. Ask for the guy, Jeremy Larkin, Jesse Paul, Larkin Group, KW Realty. Over now.
Thanks for having us.